And welcome to episode 25 of the Velocity Radio podcast. You've got myself here, Ben Newbold, and I'm with Brandon today. How are you doing?
I'm doing mate, yourself, thank you.
Yes, I'm good, thank you very much.
Wonderful.
So yeah, episode 25, it's like quarter of a century, isn't it?
Quarter of the way there now.
Yeah, I know.
25 ago they started. I'm a little bit impressed, to be fair.
I am really. I didn't think that we'd get anything past 2020. I didn't think we were going to do another one, but
keep it going.
We did another one. Anyway, so today's topic, as you've probably seen from the title, it's going to be all regarding National Apprenticeship Week. So if you're watching Vizio.
Vizio? What is Vizio?
One of those new terms, isn't it? So if you're watching video of this, you'll probably see that me and Brandon are actually not in what we deem as like proper sports velocity gear. Hence why we're wearing the lanyard so people know who we work for.
Sunday best on for a change.
Exactly, yeah. Now we're dressing smart. We're making an effort out of it. We're pushing for that promotion. So it's National Apprenticeship Week, and that's running from the 3rd to the 9th, is it?
9th, yeah.
Yeah,
on
3rd
Sunday.
to the 9th. So you're probably wondering why we're going to talk about National Apprenticeship Week. Well, it's just to kind of like bring to people's attentions the whole stigma around apprenticeships, and also just allow people to understand that Velocity are no longer just a fitness education company anymore. Yes, we do that, and that's a big thing that we're going to be part of doing, and that's what we do as the core of the business. But now we're also doing different apprenticeships, aren't we, Brandon?
Big things. It's more than a course. It's more than just a fitness course now.
Yeah, it's more than a company.
More than a company.
So yeah, what we're doing is we're branching into the apprenticeship market. We already have personal training apprentices that are placed in places. However, we are now going into business side of things, aren't we? So
very exciting.
Customer service, business administration, management, higher level management courses and apprenticeships. So just to kind of give people more of an insight into what these are, really. That's the whole reason why we're recording today, isn't it?
Definitely.
So Brandon, when I say the word apprenticeships here, what's the first thing that you think about?
I think apprentices get a lot of stick. Stick as it seems to be just like the school leaver, doesn't it? You finish school, right? What am I doing? I'm gonna become an apprentice in whatever's there.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's given its true sort of term anymore. Like,
right.
I see an apprentice now after knowing everything that's gone behind all this as someone who's it can be any job from it. It can be a school leaver, but it can be a CEO of any company looking to just like develop their skills. I think the apprenticeships now are given more credit than potentially they were when I was growing up. I know I was only left Mcqueen like 5 years ago, but I feel
you're still growing up. What are you on about?
All right, less of that. I feel like an apprentice now gets a little bit more of a better reputation for themselves. Than just being that kid who probably goes into an office, ends up becoming a T-boy for 2 years and going on from there, really. Yeah, it is a bit of a stigma around it, isn't there? And I know when I talk to people that don't necessarily know about apprenticeships, the moment you say apprentice to somebody, they almost think either slave labour, spotty-nosed teenager coming in to kind of like not really understand what they're doing and just be on the phone majority of the day. Doing it just because they have to. Yeah. It's not a job, a career. It's an apprenticeship. But what you've got to understand is like that the apprenticeships are not just for people post 16 as well. I mean, apprentices can be, you've already mentioned, it can be somebody of higher level, can be somebody who owns a company, could be doing an apprenticeship. Absolutely. Not many people know that there's kind of like different levels to an apprenticeship as well. I feel like that is, like you come in at apprentice, you do a couple of years and that's it. I feel that's what people see it as. And then you're qualified to do a job. Whereas I've seen differently now myself. You've seen different. I've seen differently now. Yes. Seen different. We've shown you the way. You've shown me the velocity way. So yeah, just kind of like for the guys that are listening, if you don't really understand the different levels of apprenticeships, well, you've got like a level 2 apprenticeship that you can do. Well, apprenticeships just to start out, you can do that in more or less any kind of vocational role that you can think of. There's loads of different standards out there that you can do it from being like an aeroplane engineer, to like being a car mechanic, being a hairdresser, being a nail technician, personal trainer, anything that you can think of job role wise. The apprenticeship isn't just an office based role. No, it doesn't have to be at all. It can take you all over the world with like the jobs and opportunities you get with that now. Definitely. Exactly, and it is kind of like you can think of an apprenticeship as well, almost being like a old school scaled approach to things.
I know we both did different pathways since after leaving school.
Yeah.
Whereas kind of like you went down the university route, whereas I didn't so much. I went through the apprenticeship route, and it's kind of like what would you say the stigma is from people going to university about apprenticeships?
I'm not that it's looked down on or anything like that, but I feel like it's looked at differently because you seem to obviously you've got a stupid array of courses you can go to do at university, from like game design aspects like that, and I think there's some roles obviously which you can't be an apprentice in, and you do just have to learn the hard way of going through university, which I think is like my opportunity. Like there was no apprenticeship job I wanted to go into.
Yeah,
I wasn't willing to give myself 4 or 5 years in an apprenticeship for something I probably didn't want to do for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So I think I had to choose the university route. But there's a lot of jobs where you can go to uni to do something, or you can be an apprentice to do the exact same role.
Yeah.
And it's right, go to uni, you're going to have a good time, you're probably going to spend half your life pissed, but you're going to you'll have a good time, you'll create memories, or you can actually go to work for 4 years.
Yeah.
You're getting the experience, which you're not going to have. You've got the same qualification, more than likely, and
you've earned money.
Instead of being 50 grand in debt, you're 50 grand up.
Yeah.
Essentially, I think some degrees, obviously, university is a big major and it must be done, but
yeah,
I think if the opportunity is there to do an apprenticeship in what you want to do, you'd be silly to not take that route.
Yeah,
really.
There are different levels to them as well. I know I kind of already mentioned that and I didn't get into it. So you talked about when you're at university, obviously you're pushing for a degree, aren't you? And you get your diploma at the end of it. But there are also like higher level degree standard apprenticeships out there
definitely.
as well. Now.
I mean, I've got my mates, a few of them are doing ones like that, and they'll go to college, treat it as an apprenticeship, but then at the end of it, they actually come out with a degree the same level as mine.
Yeah.
And they've done 4 years worth of work, and I've done 4 years worth of sitting about in the library.
Footy manager. That's what you've done 4 years of FIFA.
Give me some credit.
So yeah, when like you say, a vast array of different capabilities and different routes that you can go down with them.
Definitely.
So to kind of get into the scaling of the levels, there's level 2 apprenticeships, which are intermediate apprenticeships. So they're kind of equivalent to 5 GCSE passes at A star to C level, or 9 to 4, whatever that means now. I don't know. That's all past me with those new numbers.
I'm out of that.
Or you could do level 3 apprenticeships. They're known as like an advanced apprenticeship, and they're equivalent to 2 A levels. That's what a level 3 is. Or you could then go into your higher level apprenticeship. So you talk about like level 4, 5, 6, and 7. And
Seven.
I know, say when. And they're equivalent to like foundation degree level. And then you've got your even higher degree level apprenticeships. 6 and 7 apprenticeships. They're actual bachelor's and master degree level apprenticeships. And you've got to think you've got that capability of being able to study, earn, gain those valuable work-based experiences, whilst also then achieving whatever career and goal that you want.
And I feel like it's nice, like obviously for me now, if I'm working full time, so for me to go back to university, it's a little bit harder. It takes time out of my working life, and then obviously I'm going back into the system of that. Whereas I think it's nice the fact that if you do go to university, the apprenticeship route is still there for afterwards. And, you can easily switch paths, cross routes, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And like now, I could do an apprenticeship in work.
Yeah. Of course you can.
Yeah.
And that's the thing as well. That's the stigma around apprenticeships, what we talked about. Just because you're not 16 years old coming out of school doesn't mean that you can't be an apprentice. You can be a 50-year-old apprentice if you wasn't, and that's not a derogatory term, because that 50-year-old apprentice could be studying a master's degree level apprenticeship in aeronautical engineering.
Yeah,
do you know what I
mean?
So all of a sudden you're going to think that he's going to be the T-boy.
He's not an apprentice where you're thinking, oh, another one of them. Like, I think, shit, like that's impressive.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly for that individual. So yeah, like we talked about, there's loads of different routes, loads of different ways now you can get into it. And there's loads of people that we kind of know of that have done apprenticeships as well. Yeah. So if you think like notable celebrities, there's tons of those that have done apprenticeships and like earned and kind of paved their own career in it. So I don't know if you know Jamie Oliver. Just to drop a name.
Drop the names.
Drop the name.
Mr.
Jamie
Oliver. Yeah.
So what he did, he gained 2 GCSEs at school and an MVQ in home economics.
Okay.
So, And then Jamie Oliver acquired numerous apprenticeships at eateries all over London. His apprenticeships gave him the life skills and knowledge needed to begin a 20-long career as a chef. So you can imagine he's got loads of different restaurants that are open now and stuff. Well, some of them are closed down now, aren't they? But we'll not talk about that.
Kicking off for turkey dinosaurs, weren't they? I think it's great to see, like, you look at all these people and you're thinking that a lot of the most successful people often come from that sort of route, don't they, though?
Yeah.
They've not done very well at school. I'm not saying don't do well at school. Let's just get that in there. Do well at school, but I sort of come through that route. They managed to get an apprenticeship, probably just through like working hard to get that, or friend of a friend.
Yeah.
And then it seems to just spiral from there for them, like really. And career success just comes naturally then after that point.
It's almost like you're learning your craft from a young age.
Yeah.
If you think of like Jamie Oliver there, he's almost kind of like, he's been the lad probably chopping the onions up in the back and peeling them and stuff and skinning the potatoes, and then he's kind of built his way up then to be a head chef and learn his trade. And
he's watching the people around him, learning off that on the job.
Exactly,
a little bit of help here and there from college, or whoever the training provider, and he's pushed himself to a stupid level now. So I know he gets a lot of stick probably now, bits and bobs, mixed emotions about him, but ultimately
he's on that pedestal for people to know who he is. Do you know what I mean?
He's reached the point. He can't get any more famous than what he has, really.
Yeah.
You know, he's got his restaurants.
Well, if anyone can take down Little Chef, fair on him. Like, he deserves a bit of fame.
Yeah, a little bit.
Alexander Mcqueen.
The lovely trainer.
Yeah.
Lovely trainers.
A lovely shoe. So fashion extraordinaire Alexander Mcqueen nabbed himself an apprenticeship by knocking on doors on Savile Row as a teenager. So we were there, we were proactive, he wanted to kind of start working at a young age. The chance opportunity was given as a teenager, allowed him to go to become the owner of his own fashion house. Dress the likes of Prince Charles and Madonna, and win British Designer of the Year 4 times, and be awarded with a CBE for his services to the industry. So that again, starting out probably with a textiles apprenticeship there, and working his way up through that trade and learning his craft. So again, I mean, it's a good input. It's a good kind of shoe-in for any kind of like teenagers like that.
I like that.
I didn't even mean that as well. For any teenagers that are kind of
definitely.
like
I think it's just about that moment of being proactive to get an apprenticeship or something like that. I think with university, it's you decide you're going, you write a little personal statement, right? That's it. You're there. Basically, you know what I mean. Providing the uni accepts you, you're there. I think with an apprenticeship, it's about going out to companies, getting involved, doing their assessment days, X, Y, and Z, proving you're capable. I thought there's a little bit more to it behind the scenes, just to naturally start if you're not in the company. Obviously, if you get people in the company wanting to progress, then it's even easier, really, I suppose.
Exactly. And being proactive with it. Quick bit of knowledge drops for yourself here. I didn't get accepted into university.
There you go.
That was mine. I tried to go down university route, but actually didn't get accepted.
So instead.
Well, no. To be honest, that were off the back of it. So when I left school at 16, I was fortunate enough to get a football apprenticeship. So total different route, but apprenticeships are allowed down that route. Only if you're good enough, obviously. But apprentices are available in loads of different careers. So who knew? People probably listening to this didn't know that footballers maybe started out as apprenticeships.
Yeah, how many professionals are there now that technically were an apprentice?
Well, you look at anybody. David Beckham was at one point. Do you know what I mean? And Wayne Rooney. He kind of launch padded his career at 16. But that's.
He sort of skipped the apprenticeship route out. A little bit, but hey ho.
I'm sure he still cleaned somebody's boots at end of day when he was 16.
Absolutely.
Big Duncan Ferguson's or somebody like that.
Scary man.
I did a 2-year apprenticeship playing football. Got my qualification at the end of it, and I mean, I just look back at those 2 years as a massive learning curve. I didn't get anything out of it. But that would just kind of, it's a different industry. It's sport and football. So.
It's a new experience. Like, remember when I was at school, like, I don't know what you call them, like the teacher would sort of help you write university stuff, like, and prepare you.
Yeah, like a careers guide.
Yeah, like a careers guide. Yeah. They were always, not to shout out schools or anything, but our school was always, if you were set on going to university, you were sort of put above the apprenticeship guys to be looked after.
Right.
It's like they'd be ringing you, they'd be emailing you, you'd be getting texts off of school, have you done this and that?
Yeah.
And sort of once you found out that someone wasn't that bothered about going to uni, they wanted to do an apprenticeship, they were sort of a bit like, oh, you can sort it on your own.
Yeah.
Sort of mindset.
Yeah.
Cause I think at the time, I don't know if it's still true, but I think the schools receive more money if so many students go to university.
Oh, right.
Because it's like continuing their career like to a high level. Whereas obviously with apprenticeships, as you said, like levels 2 to 7. So I think obviously you're not guaranteed what they're going to go into, but I think if a lot of people leaving school and thinking I'll go do a level 2, you can sort of judge their mindset already. Whereas if you get someone leave school and goes, I'm going straight in at level 5. You know, I work for 4 years, I'll get X, Y, and Z. I think it changes it shows their mindset.
Yeah, of course it does.
Compared to anybody else's.
Yeah. It's a difficult thing, isn't it, when you're at that age? Because I mean, it's a tough question to be asked. What do you want to do? What route do you want to go down?
Yeah.
When I was probably 15, 16, I was going to be a footballer for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And then shit happens, I wasn't good enough.
I think I was going to be a fireman.
Well, you're going to be a fireman?
I think I was going to be a fireman at one point, but here I am.
On a podcast talking about apprenticeships, eh?
I think the difference is people look at it maybe like afterlife of completing the qualifications. Like if you go to university, you look at that independency that you gain from doing such a thing, whereas I think if you look at an apprenticeship, it's... I don't know anybody's ever done an apprenticeship had to move home.
Yeah.
To essentially do something, everyone's sort of quite local to where they are, and in terms of like that. So I think maybe for looking at afterlife of completing a qualification, people may see a difference there, but in terms of gaining the qualification, completing it, being an apprenticeship hands down if you can earn and
whilst you're
if you can earn and learn.
Yeah, exactly, and gaining those life skills. Here's a quick benefit of them here. So I've just dug this out from Apprenticeship Services website. Increase future earning potential. So apprentices enjoy marked salary increases on finishing their training, and those completing a higher apprenticeship can see increased earnings of an estimated 150 grand over their lifetime. So there's a substantial amount of money there that you can see. And different
you can see it though, like if you're an apprentice starting out somewhere, you start obviously you're probably going to start on a basic bog standard wage. Which, fair enough. That's how it is. That's how it always seems to have been as long as I remember for people who I know above me doing it. But then like I know a few people now, 3-4 years in, they've got company vans, company cars. They're set up with like a hospital and payment plans, stuff like that. They're pretty well looked after now. The 3 years down the line.
Definitely, and they've probably been paying into a pension a lot longer than somebody that's been to university.
Chances are these companies that they're working with, they're not. I'll stay here for a few years and then I'll disappear. They're lifelong companies. Like careers if they want to stick with it. So
There's scalability in them. Isn't there? It's
definitely.
Kind of like you can start. Like I said, the old-fashioned way of working, like starting from one place and then building your way up as your skills increase.
Unbelievable for some people if they want to take it. Why not?
Big time. I know when I went into my apprenticeship, guess how much I got paid per week? Go on.
52 quid.
Oh, nearly, mate. 55.
Oh.
£55 a week.
I've done my research on Football Manager.
You did there, didn't you? Bloody hell. You were dividing it by 4, figuring it out what it was. £55 a week and then £20 travel expenses I got.
A week?
A week, So it ended up around about £75.
That's not bad.
That we got. But then if you think scalability of a footballer, when you start getting your contracts thereafter, it grows. And that can essentially be passed down into any other different industry. There's a lot of industries that I know, like, because with an apprenticeship you can be paid national minimum wage. You can be. Most employers don't, because I kind of see national minimum wages taking the piss a little bit.
Absolutely.
No matter the age of whoever it is.
It is.
So most employers don't, and they'll pay national living wage rather than national minimum wage. And then it can scale up from there in terms of what company that you're with. Because you'll find some higher level apprenticeships and more technical based apprenticeships that they can be paying anywhere between £300 to £500 a week.
Oh, they can be stupid. Some of them, like, what is it? I think if you're working for, I can't remember what it's called. It's a company that builds like military fleets and stuff like that.
Right.
Do you know?
Like
do you know
Bombardier. I mean? There's one of them, or like
maybe.
I don't know.
A mate of mine, it's his little brother that does it down in the South Coast somewhere. And he's getting paid like stupid wages. Because he'll go and live. He'll like, go away for a few weeks and then come back home, and they operate on like that sort of scale with him. And his wages are just incredible. Like what he's earning, like 20 years old now, and He's living like a little dream, to be fair to him.
Yeah.
Whatever he wants and thinks about, he's got.
Mm-hmm.
Either going through work, like progression opportunities, aspects like that, or personal life.
Yeah.
He's very much set up for a positive future. Well, I think is the best way to look at it.
Yeah, and again, it's not just the monetary incentive behind it.
No.
It's kind of like the life skills that he's getting, the work-based skills that he's getting at time as well.
So he's working at a company that is a lifelong company to work for.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a few years here, what's going to happen to them. They're building military fleets. They're not going to disappear in the next few years, really.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You know,
especially for keeping them contracts.
That sort of career is brilliant to get into. No, obviously, the skills he's got from there, if he ever did want to leave, he's not going to be thinking, oh, I'm stuck without a job for a little while. The company will snap his hand off for what he's learned.
Well, yeah, they would
over a period of time.
Because then he's no longer having to... He's learnt the skills of the trade. He no longer has to kind of start from scratch again with a company. He knows that if a company is wanting to employ somebody, he'll be able to, wants his skills, he'll be able to hit the ground running with them straight away.
I think that as well is a major difference. Like, I've been to uni. If I look for anything, it's experience required. And I'm like, where the hell am I going to get that level of experience to go do that job? When you look at these lot, they've been in a job 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They're already more experienced technically than I will be for such a role.
Do you feel like that's something that university lacks a little bit then? If they had that workplace, I know that you did a work placement.
I did a work placement with you, but I feel
like a proper established work placement, maybe like a year or something.
I mean, they do give you the opportunity to go to like a sandwich year, what they call it.
Right.
So go in between your second and your third year, work in industry.
Right.
And then come back and do your third year, your fourth year, basically. But I feel like you don't get enough guidance on finding companies that are willing to take you. They sort of just leave you to it.
Right, okay.
And my mindset was, I don't want to go work for a company for a year that I might not be interested in working for. Like, if I'm not passionate about that company and I don't feel like I understand what they're wanting to do, then I feel like I've wasted a year.
Yeah.
I might have earned some money and completed no assessments all year and had it a little bit harder, but I'm like, is there a point? Do you know what I mean? So I think, especially for stuff like that, I know I said if the opportunity is not there to be an apprentice, university probably is the best route. But I feel like then university should sort of cover the back of that a little bit and say, well, here's experience for this. You know.
I do know universities now are getting allocated a little bit of apprenticeship funding. So I'm not saying that universities do it. There are going to be independent training providers out there, but apprenticeships are also used quite significantly to look to fill skills gaps within UK. So do you know, like at the minute we have like a reduction in paramedics, so we don't have many paramedics. Like people are not willing to kind of say, right, I want to train to be a paramedic. There's just a shortfall in there. So what they're doing is rather than making it just a sole university route where you have to go to train to be a paramedic for X amount of years, they're opening up the apprenticeship route.
Seen that.
Where you can then train whilst you're on the job in order to be a paramedic. And if you think, again, this is just my train of thought with it, but if you sat down in a classroom and learned how to be a paramedic, and then actually being on the blue light run whilst learning to be a paramedic, I can imagine those being two different types of paramedics when they come to the end of the first year. You'll have one that's got a couple of years' experience of being on blue light runs and dealing with high stress, high pressure situations, whereas another one that can probably read you a textbook on it.
They'll crash on the first minute of a job.
That's not being derogatory to that.
No,
but I'm just saying that you've got that there seems a very hands-on job that should kind of have a big element of work-based experience involved. I've seen
the police have started doing it. If you come through a degree route, the only difference I did notice with them is the waging straight away.
Right.
If you go through a police, for an example, I think the starting wages with a degree was 26,000 a year.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas you start with, don't quote me on that, it might be a few thousand short, but I think if you came through the apprenticeship, it was about 18,000 starting wage. Right. So it's $8,000 over a year to someone who maybe has got a degree to hasn't. I think obviously it looks a little bit daunting, a bit like, well, I'm doing the same job.
Looks a bit sceptical.
But I think at the same time, if you look at it, if you are an apprentice and you're going into that job, you're learning on the trade, so I feel like the wage encounter sort of is fair.
There'll be a scalability in that as well. I mean, you may start on a lower pay grade, but what you've got to understand is that you're 4 years behind somebody that's come out of university.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like if I was to go do it, for example, I feel like it'd be fair that I was getting paid extra because I've done my 3 years learning.
Yeah.
I know it's not on the job, it's not experience in the police role, but I've sat and done my extra 3 years. Compared to someone who's just rolling out a sixth form now, who's going to go, well, I'm going to be a copper.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that is fair because it's shown a dedication to a level, which is obviously what all these health services and aspects sort of want to see now, like a dedication.
Well,
that's what they're all about.
Yeah.
But, I feel like it's
growing.
Progressing,
anyway,
definitely.
It's definitely growing. So, what apprenticeships do we now offer? Well, I mean, we've got quite a few. Well, have you seen the new video that we've released at the start of
Apprenticeship? Please give it a watch.
That's my acting debut. That's my Ricky Gervais moment. That.
It's worth a Grammy and everything. Is it a Grammy you get for acting?
Oscar. Grammy's music.
Well, you have to rap next time.
It's an Oscar. Yeah.
You'll have to drop a beat next time for us.
You wait till that Method Man song comes on. Fire it up. I'll be spitting a few bars to that.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
Right, so apprenticeships that we offer. So, as you probably know, and if you're listening to this podcast, you understand that we've always been a fitness provider with the courses that we run. So, we obviously offer the personal trainer standard. But now what we're going into is more a business route with it as well. Because we've got effective tutors that have got prolonged business knowledge and competencies within that area. We are now looking to deliver customer service apprenticeships. So this is a level 2 intermediate level. Fantastic for any kind of young aspiring people wanting a job within a customer service based role. So you could be looking at a receptionist, a dentist, or a GP surgery, or working in a school, and so on. So all those are examples of customer service roles where you're dealing with customers. We've also got level 3 business administrator, haven't we, as a standard. So again, looking at those higher advanced, this is an advanced apprenticeship, level 3, and you're looking at the more business administrative parts of it. So it could be like logistics within the company. You could be dealing with financials of the company, all those different types of things. And then we've got the team leader supervisor level 3, which is for more.
Sounds impressive as that one.
Team leader supervisor. Yeah. Well, you need to be an impressive individual to be on that impressive qualification, because you're a manager. That's the management one at level 3 standard. So you need to be leading a team almost, and kind of have responsibilities of team members under you and dealing with their performances. So that's that one. You'll be able to do that one on the job. And then we've also then got our higher, so this is our higher apprenticeship, level 5 operational departmental manager, level 5. So this one is equivalent to a foundation degree. Being an operational departmental manager, you're basically managing a department of the company. So again, this is you look at loads of theories in regards to management, different management theories, how to apply them, how to deal with conflicts, how to deal with performance-related issues and finances, cash flow forecasting, all that type of stuff.
I think but anything you can think of in a managerial role, it goes over it.
Yeah, it's effectively
essentially
like running it. It's almost like running a business qualification without actually having to run a business. Do you know what I mean? Those are the different types of things, knowledge, skills and behaviours that you gain out of it. And you gain all of the knowledge, skills and behaviours to be able to essentially run a full team. So almost like running a business.
You couldn't put it better myself, really.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Right, talk to me after, we'll get you signed up to it. But there's a benefit of the apprenticeships. You can do an apprenticeship if you are just working in a job now. So if you like the sound of any of those apprenticeships and you're currently not enrolled onto any form of education, you can enroll onto it. There's nothing to stop you. If you get the go-ahead from your manager and they're happy enough for you to study and do that, you can do it. I mean, you don't have to go back to £3.70 an hour. Do you know what I mean? It
shouldn't ever change the wage structure.
It won't change. If anything, you're giving yourself a progressive route to get a pay increase when you qualify.
And it's not often you'll get a manager when you say to them, "Oh look, I want to do level 3 business admin to progress myself and I can do this for the company." They're not going to turn around and go, "No."
Yeah, exactly.
And if they are, you might be working in the wrong place.
You might be working in the wrong place.
You might be working in the wrong place.
Because they're not actively wanting to increase the progression of their company. They're not wanting it to be more efficient. They're not wanting to upskill their workflow and staff. So maybe look for a different place if they turn it down.
Yeah, maybe if they turn it down.
Yeah. Because as a manager, and I'll know more than I don't know. I know more than what I knew 3 years ago, 4 years ago. That you need to be able to kind of fill the holes and professionally develop your staff members if you want to progress your company. Mm-hmm. One person's only got a certain amount of bandwidth, and if that one manager thinks he can run the whole thing and progress it, it's not going to happen.
No chance.
No. Right. So I think that's more or less everything that we want to talk about.
I think we've covered Apprenticeship Week.
I think we've covered Apprenticeship Week there, haven't we? Yeah. So, by all means, look out for the apprenticeship advert. It's going to be on TV. You've probably already seen it. Many people may have already seen it. It's called the Fire It Up campaign.
It's a great advert.
Yeah, it's a great advert. Good music to it.
I give them full credit. It is actually a really good advert.
Some good transitions in that, isn't there? And a little bit of animation and stuff. They've been on Final Cut Pro, I think, with that. Or do you reckon something else?
Might be a bit of Premiere.
Might
be a bit of Premiere Pro.
Right.
It is good. I give them full credit for the video.
Yeah.
And a great song.
Yeah, good song. Targeting that younger audience, aren't they? But like we say, apprenticeships don't have to be for a younger audience. It can be for an older audience. I mean, I know I'm doing an apprenticeship myself at the moment. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're doing one.
I'm doing it. But when my tutor turns up.
Mr.
Mallet.
You're digging him out. By the way, Brandon's tutor sits opposite him in the office. That's why he's meaning that.
He don't reply to my emails.
Oh, you're digging him out here. Digging him out.
No.
Right. Talk to me after, Matt. We'll sit down for a quick chat. So yeah, if you're interested in upskilling yourself, upskilling your performances at work, so like our business apprenticeships, they don't have to be within a fitness industry. They don't have to be anything within that. It can be GP surgeries, it can be call centres, it can be anywhere basically that deals with customers or where you lead and manage a team. It could be any different kind of industries where that's been happening.
Anybody.
Basically anyone.
I think it's important to mention if you are just a one-man band, like a self-employed personal trainer.
Yeah.
You just have just so much right to put yourself on these qualifications as well.
Exactly, yeah. And if you're self-employed, happy days. I mean, you set it off against your tax for upskilling.
Exactly. If you work in the gym and you might be a bit bad with talking to people, get yourself on a customer service.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll understand. You'll get it much easier, and it's on-the-job training essentially for yourself.
Yeah. Learn how to deal with people face to face. We can also embed some sales training into that as well. Mm-hmm. And what I just want what these guys to understand is these apprenticeships are government funded. They don't that you're not essentially paying out of pocket. They're 95% government funded, which you're paying a slither of the amount compared to the actual totality cost of what one of these apprenticeships are.
We were saying if you did one that equal the university degrees.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot less than $9,000 you're paying.
So you're getting a foundation degree level apprenticeship for nothing essentially, compared to going to university and getting in X amount of drinking debt. Right, so we'll look to wrap this one up here. So if you guys listen to this, ensure that you subscribe to our channel, hit us up and try and get involved with National Apprenticeship Week as well, by sharing our posts, and if you have been an apprentice, we'd love to hear your stories as well during your apprenticeship. Let us know about that, slide into our DMs and we'll be happy to talk to you and maybe even post you out on our social media.
Absolutely.
No worries, so catch you on next one, guys.
See you later on.